Welcome in. I'm assuming you were sent for Mr. Blanco.
Yes, Christopher White from Maple and Acres. I'm here to represent my client, Mr. Blanco.
Well, why don't we get started then? Well, forgive me for not understanding, but I'm just going to need some clarification as to why you actually have my client here in custody today. Today, we gather in an assembly of what I believe to be well-informed and intelligent individuals. Now, Mr. White, your job will be to protect and represent Mr. Blanco, whose job will obviously be to answer the questions, leaving me to ask the questions. Is that clear? Well, yes, of course. I would just like to know a few things to start off. Then I think we're in agreement, because I'd like to know some things as well. Mr. Blanco, tell me what you know about Tremarctos or Noctos. What? Let me be more specific. What can you tell me about small Peruvian bears? I don't know anything about bears. You're not a science guy, huh? Are you still in school, Mr. Blanco? Can you tell me where your client goes to school? Oh yes, of course. It's like the Gonzaga University, Spokane, Washington. Hey, may I speak to my client alone, please? Spokane, Washington, huh? That's a pretty far distance from London. Why don't you tell us why you were in London? Have you ever spoken to a cop before? Have you ever been out of the country? Do you or have you ever had a severe brain injury? Do you know who this is? Fozzie Bear. Let's try again. Tell me about this. I think he's dead. This photo was taken yesterday, right outside of 32 Windsor Gardens, London, England. Sheriff, the record is clear that my client was never outside the country last night. Never outside the country, huh? Now why don't you tell me why this was found in your room last night? It's his hat. From his head. It's not my hat. Now we've still yet to find any other of his possessions. Now, I don't assume this hat implies any sort of relationship between my client and this bear. No, it seems like a stretch that Mr. Blanco would ever be transfixed on any Peruvian bear. No, that's the level of determination I think you just might have. Well, that alone doesn't dictate homicide. His record is clean, with no indication he could ever organize an execution to this extent. You know, how could he even have done that? Well, we did find this. Did you get a warrant for this? Would you like to build, Mr. Blanco? I used to build Legos. So you built this weapon? It's for t-shirts. This is for t-shirts? You'd be surprised. I try not to be. You got an accomplice? Who's your partner, Mr. Blanco? Do you know how many people are in this room? 3. Where are we?